Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1. The Premier League title race is on. I can't believe what I'm seeing at Stamford Bridge. Liverpool have lost 3 games in a row in all competitions. Chelsea, one of the best performances they've ever put in the last 3 years, beating the champions of England, showing unbelievable mentality right at the end. I can't believe what I'm seeing. But for Liverpool, this is shocking stuff, and Arne Slot has a long few weeks to get things sorted. At least the international break is around the corner. We're going to break down all the goals and where this leaves both Liverpool and Chelsea. Make sure you subscribe. We are doing some match analysis, one of the results, one of the games of the season. But make no bones about it, the Premier League title race is on for Arsenal, for City, for Liverpool. Of course, they're still in there. But dare I say it, Chelsea, if they can put more of these kind of performances together, they really can beat anyone on their day. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment down below. We had to start off in the first half where Chelsea, I thought, were very, very secure defensively speaking. Yes, Liverpool had some decent moments. Salah was running at the Chelsea back line, but it felt like Chelsea physically were able to match Liverpool today. I like the double pivot of, it was almost like Caicedo, Gusto, Enzo Fernandez, all coming very, very narrow, stopping Liverpool having too much play in the middle of the park. A lot of the balls were going out wide to Gakpo, out wide to Mohamed Salah, with no real connection into Isak. There wasn't that great partnership forming yet. It's still very, very early, and Isak obviously has a big moment for the goal later on for Liverpool. But you have to say, Chelsea clearly worked on it, and having Gusto in there, Reece James in there, they completely nullified the left-hand side for Liverpool. I dare I say it, by the way. I thought Kerkez had a really flat performance. There was nothing coming from the left-hand side. It was all Mohamed Salah, really, who I thought had one of his better games in recent weeks. You have to talk about the man of the moment. Moises Caicedo, for me, is now approaching a level where he's world-class. He's the best defensive midfielder in the world. You can put Pedri above him. You can put Rodri above him. You can put maybe even Gravenberch above him in terms of what they can do on the ball as pure metronomes in those midfields that I'm talking about. But in terms of winning the ball with energy, with crisp tackling, with unbelievable levels of fitness, it's Moises Caicedo. He's the best defensive midfielder in the world, bar none. He'd improve Real Madrid. He'd improve Liverpool's midfield in a big, big way. And ultimately, we do discredit him on the ball as well. He's not Rodri on the ball, but he's not far off. He's very, very good passer of the ball. He rarely loses it. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. Then you see his goal, where he's just picked the ball up. No protection from the Liverpool midfield. He's running at the Liverpool back line. Virgil van Dijk's trying to stick his kind of backside towards Caicedo to block it. I mean, you could have Maldini, you could have Beckenbauer. If you've got a back four completely exposed, it doesn't matter who you are. And ultimately, Gravenberch and McAllister today left too many spaces for Chelsea. And Caicedo's running with the ball, and he smashes it. Unbelievable strike. And it set the tone tonight. It set the tone that Chelsea have got match winners at a level where they can beat the title winners from last season. That's a ringing endorsement for whatever we say about the Clear Lake project, that there are some world-class players in this Chelsea side. And Caicedo, for me, in the last few weeks, really has come into his own. He's world-class. He'd improve PSG. There's no question about it, who've just won the Champions League. He'd improve PSG. Absolutely unbelievable goal against Liverpool. From that point on, I have to say, I thought Chelsea were absolutely superb. Yes, they left themselves a little bit open at points where Salah finds Isak with a beautiful ball on the outside of his left foot. Isak has to do so much better with his head. He really, really does. I actually thought he was a touch isolated today. And you have to say, Akapong, who's come in, he was absolutely sensational. And he's a long-term future star for Chelsea. There's no question about it. We have to move into the second half where Liverpool maintain a little bit of control. They get back to their rhythm a little bit more. They're pushing Chelsea back. Ball gets whipped in, and Isak, who's obviously trying to control the ball for himself, but it looks like an unbelievable little touch into Cody Gakpo, who finishes it. At 1-1, I thought Liverpool would have the steam to really drive Chelsea back, keep the ball. And this is the big thing that I'm a big critic of this Arne Slot's version of Liverpool. Because yes, he's brought in Ekitike, I'm a huge fan of. Isak, Wirtz came on in the second half. But that midfield of Gravenberch and McAllister hasn't been supplemented, hasn't been supported. It's still vulnerable off the ball. And this is a criticism I said at the start of last season. You can get this Liverpool backline when you bypass their midfield. They needed someone like a Lavia they were linked to a couple of years ago, Caicedo. They need that ball winner. Then you have Gravenberch and McAllister a little bit higher up and influence in play. But ultimately, Liverpool in the second half, yes, they scored that goal. Where's the control of the ball? Where's the control of possession? It felt like Chelsea really were taking the game to Liverpool. And it's what Jamie Carragher said on CBS. It was a basketball game. Far too much. It was end to end. And Liverpool, after getting that draw, they tried to slow things down a bit. Konate got taken off. Conor Bradley got taken off. Sabozza at right back looks far better at right back, you have to say. But then Gravenberch gets put into a centre-back position. He nearly scores an own goal. So at one point, you're trying to hold on for a 1-1 draw, which I think would have been an unbelievable point for Liverpool to stop the rot. And you're looking at Endo, I think at one point was at fullback, Gravenberch, Van Dijk, Mamadashvili, who had a great game, but he's a second choice keeper. And you've got Sabozza at right back. So you've got two midfielders in the back four, potentially three midfielders in the back four with Van Dijk and the second choice keeper. This Liverpool squad have got some big issues they have to address moving forward. And obviously Konate didn't have the best game. But beyond Konate, who can come on and influence things? Where's Joe Gomez? Do you know what I mean? He was on the bench. Maybe he's got some sort of injury. Frimpong not trusted at right back either. You do feel that Arne Slot has to change what's going on, in my honest opinion. That might be packing the midfield. That might be playing a false nine. I see a world where Liverpool might have to adapt and play Isak off the left, Salah off the right, play a midfielder as a false nine, and have that extra man in midfield. It's almost like a 4-5-1 with Salah and Isak far wide, and they have just a midfield diamond around them, because I think they're wasting too much space on the pitch, having Isak, having Gakpo, having Salah. They're almost individual players and they aren't able to contribute. And Liverpool are losing the ball a lot. And that's how Liverpool lost this game today. There's a moment where this ball gets whipped in for Enzo Fernandez. I'm livid just because you want to see big goals in the Premier League. You want to see the most expensive players kind of live up to their price tag. And Enzo Fernandez misses from 4 yards out, hits the post. I thought that was Chelsea's big chance. Just before that, Gittins came on. He was causing havoc against the Liverpool backline. Mamadashvili pulled off an unbelievable save from Gittins. Then it bounces to Estavio. He's pulling off a world-class save from Estavio off the right. It was just bouncing all over the place. Liverpool had no control. Mamadashvili kept them in the game. I thought he was absolutely superb tonight. And he's definitely a future prospect for Liverpool as a number one moving forward. And then we have to talk about the goal. Chelsea are able to keep enough of the ball. Again, because of the brilliance of Caicedo, they're pushing Liverpool back. And Enzo Fernandez makes up for what was making me livid, really, when he hit the post. And he's just kept the ball on the far left of the pitch, played a little inverted ball into Cucurella, who's making an unbelievable run. The athleticism for him to do that so late on in the game is absolutely superb. Cucurella was outstanding today as well. And he plays the ball into Estavio, who tucks it home, makes that run, commits, gambles. It's a brilliant finish if you look at it in terms of his commitment to making the run. Brilliant ball across from Cucurella. And that has completely killed Liverpool. It really has. Manchester United next, the biggest game in English football. Brentford, look, they'll beat Brentford, but it's not easy. That's away from home. Aston Villa, Manchester City in the next 4 in the Premier League, including League Cup games against Crystal Palace, Champions League football against Real Madrid. Arne Slot has got some big issues to address. He really does. The first one for me is Isak. Do you play him down the middle? A touch isolated, still not looking 100% fit. I thought Ekitike came on and looked pretty sharp, and he was moving the ball quite nicely. And then it's that midfield. It always comes back to the midfield. I think, Manchester City have won Premier League titles with a false nine. They're having such a good midfield that you can control games to a high level. Liverpool aren't controlling enough of these games away from home. Against Newcastle, it wasn't happening. Against Chelsea tonight, it wasn't happening. Away to Galatasaray, the control isn't there, and had less possession today. So Liverpool aren't controlling games of football, and they aren't that great at counter-attacking. I thought Salah was good on the right, but apart from that, the left-hand side doesn't have that threat. Andy Robertson's gone in terms of his legs. When he came on, he actually improved things for Kerkez. It's a strange one. I think Liverpool are in a world of pain right now, and they have a lot of quality to change things and to make a reassessment of where they go. I think you have to move Isak off the middle and you have to put him on the left, and you have some sort of player that can come in and influence things in the middle. So you kind of pack out the midfield. You don't have a high floating striker that's not doing much, and you play Salah on one side, Isak on the other, and they can connect kind of balls across and balls over the top, a bit like Mane and Salah. That's how I see it. And so Isak can run at the back line. You can't run at a back line when you're playing down the middle because you're running at two centre-backs. You're running between defensive midfielders. Salah's scoring so many goals because he's cutting in from the right. He's got more space to run. Cole Palmer is a very similar player in that regard as well. So it's a very, very big result for Chelsea. Does it put them in the title race? No. But it says that there's a lot of players here that can step up in the next couple of years. The biggest criticism is that if you beat Liverpool and you spent this much money, it should be giving you that edge. If Arsenal beating Liverpool, you think actually, wow, they're really far further along in winning the title race this season. Same with Manchester City when that game comes along. But Chelsea right now, you do think not so sure what the next win will be, if it will come. A good win against Benfica, an unbelievable result. Maybe Enzo Maresca's best ever result at Chelsea. But there's still such a youth in that squad that things have to develop a little bit more in terms of their maturity. Liverpool, they've got unbelievable quality. They can change things. I think Konate has to come out as well. I didn't really mention that. I think Joe Gomez, can you get a run of fitness for him? Can you get a run of 4 or 5 games just to steady the ship? Andy Robertson comes back in. Szoboszlai at right back. And then you try and pack the midfield. Could you play Wirtz as a false 9? Assuming that he comes back into a kind of a midfield position off the ball and pack the midfield, a bit like Bobby Firmino. These are the question marks I'd be asking. But you can't be losing the game last minute like that and making it a basketball pitch, a basketball game. I think Arne Slot's got some big questions to answer. At least the international break slows things down for Liverpool. 3 losses in a row. Can't believe what I'm seeing. Make sure you subscribe. Give me your thoughts down below. I'll see you very, very soon.